Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Annabeth and on this channel we talk about, I talk about everything that I am knitting. Whether that is hand knitting or things that I knit on my sock machine or knitting goals that I make for myself and check in on over the course of the year. Yeah, that's pretty much what we talk about on here, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. I am so happy that that everyone is here. Yeah, so it's been a little bit over a month since my last knitting update, so that means it has been a high time to make another one for a while. I've been trying to record this knitting update for a couple weeks now, but time and motivation just keep getting away from me. So we're here now, and I will talk to you about my finished objects over the past month plus. I will talk to you about some whips that I now have. Again, I'm not really going to do an acquisition section just because it's between like my yarn inventory spreadsheet and my net yarn stash that I'm already keeping track of. It's a little bit difficult to like separate out acquisitions until I record another knitting update, because like I said, I've pretty much fallen into this pattern where it's over a month in between knitting updates. So the thought of having like a whole separate section of my stash that's like stuff I still need to talk about stresses me out a little bit. So I've just decided to cut that section. If I get a super exciting acquisition or something like that, like I'll show you guys it, but overall, it's just not something that's a priority for me to talk about, so I don't want to take up my time and your time talking about it. So, like I said, we're going to do FOs, finished objects, we're going to do whips, works in progress, and then we're going to do some knitting plans, and actually I do have some kind of exciting announcements to talk about today as well. So, kind of 4 sections we'll work through today, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it, starting off with finished objects. Okay, I lied. We're not getting into finished objects just yet because I've been really bad about talking about the knits that I'm wearing in these videos if it's not something that's like a new finished object to talk about or something, so let me do that real quick. I am wearing my blue Ranunculus. So the Ranunculus is designed by, I believe it's Café Midori is the name on Ravelry. Literally, if you search Ranunculus on Ravelry or wherever else knitting patterns are sold, you'll probably find it. It's literally one of the most popular sweater patterns on Ravelry. So obviously this is a short sleeve version of the pattern. I knit it in Queensland coastal fine cotton yarn. Do I have a label? Oh, I do have a label actually. Queensland coastal cotton fine, pure soft cotton, so it is 350 yards per 100 grams. It is a little bit of a heavier fingering weight, but I held it double for this to get a bit more of a DK, heavy DK weight. There we go. And then it is knit on size US 10 needles. So with the cotton yarn, held double, very nice, flowy, cool knit. I knit this up for my brother's college graduation originally. So yeah, it's been a great spring and summer knit to have since finishing it. Oh, and the color is literally navy, like easy peasy. Navy blue cotton yarn. So that's the sweater I'm wearing. Earrings that I'm wearing, I feel like I never highlight the earrings that I'm wearing enough. These are from my friend Haley, who is Twin Veiled Artificer. That is the name of her business, and then also her Instagram handle as well. These are from her recent like mini summer collection. They are called Florida. They are inspired by the Taylor Swift and Florence and the Machine song, and they're just really cool. They're kind of like these rainbow metal earrings. They have suns in the corner and then waves in the bottom corner, and they're just really cool, and I really like the vibe. And I don't talk about Haley's stuff enough, and it's not like I'm sponsored by her or anything. I just really like her stuff, and she's my friend, and she just moved halfway across the country, so go check it out. I think these ones are still in stock on her website. If not, she has a bunch of cool stuff on there anyway, so you should definitely go check it out. Okay, now we'll get into finished objects. Alrighty, finished object time. So, like I said, it's been over a month since my last knitting update, so that does mean I have quite a few finished objects to talk about, so let's just go through them, get into them. So the first one was a whip from my last one. This is a, well, here it is. I'll let you look at it first before I tell you what it is. This is a Snakes and Ladders tank by, I'll put it up. I know her Instagram is Oops and Loops. I'm really bad at remembering names right now. It's fine. This is the Snakes and Ladders tank, but I did not do the purl bumps on this one because I was holding 2 yarns double, and because of the contrast between those 2 yarns, there's the back, I decided not to do the purl bumps. So, like I said, Snakes and Ladders tank, I knitted up in the Lucky brand bamboo yarn. There's my notebook. This is why I should do these more often than once a month, because then I wouldn't be as out of practice in getting you all the stats and stuff. Andrea Beatrice, that's her real name. So Lucky brand bamboo, it is 310 yards per 100 grams, so I was able to use 1 ball of each. I used, so the kind of like color block bit is from the yarn that's literally called Blues, and then the other one, the more solid blue, is called Washed Blue. Got it at my local Joann's. It was on sale. It was really soft. I wanted to knit something with it. So yeah, I ended up using pretty much all of both balls of yarn, and it's a bit of a cropped tank for me, but I think it'll be really nice for the end of summer. I always talk about my brother's football season on here, so this will be a really nice knit option for early football season in late August and early September when it's still really hot at the games. Yeah, so there we go. Blues, Snakes and Ladders tank. It was a whip in my last update. It is now a finished object. So moving on to the next one. Okay, next finished object was also a whip from my last video. I probably should have just worn it today, but I was already wearing my Ranunculus and I didn't feel like changing. This is the Phoebe top by Aimee Sher, who is at Aimee Sher Makes on Instagram. And the yarn is Wisteria from Teeny Button Studios. I used their soft sock base, which is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend, and it is 463 yards per 100 grams. This, I kept joking while I was making this that this was a knit that made me break a promise, because I had promised to myself that I wouldn't do any summer knits on needles below like a size US 5 this year, because I really just wanted to crank out some tank tops and tees and stuff, because I had so many that I wanted to make that I didn't want to like disappoint myself like I did last year in like not getting as many of them done. So I broke the promise for this one because it was just too beautiful and I wanted it immediately. It's knit on US 1.5 and 3. So 1.5 obviously is for the ribbing, and then the 3s is for the body. It's an amazing knit. It's so engaging. The little cables, so there's 2 types of cables. There's like the little ones and the big ones. The little ones are a very quick repeat. I kept talking about how this was a super potato chippy knit because it kept me engaged. I just wanted to keep going and get to the next cable, and it was just, I feel like I knit this so fast, even though in reality it was like a month. It felt so fast because every time I picked it up it was a joy to knit. Another great thing about this pattern is Aimee does a lot of great work for size and body type inclusivity. So there is like a straight version of this pattern, which is the one that I made, like a straight body version, I guess. There's also a version with bust shaping, and I believe she calls that more like the curvy version. And then it's also, oh, I didn't write what the sizes go up to, but it is a size inclusive pattern, which is really great. Oh, and another fun thing with this one, I was able to use my Cordsmith again. Let me grab that so I can show you what I'm talking about. I haven't talked about it in a while. I was using my Cordsmith. So the Cordsmith is a product from Autumn, I forgot your last name. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. She runs the Size Inclusive Collective over on Instagram. And the Cordsmiths are really great because, as you can see, it's 3 latch hooks, and then they're in this 3D printed handle. It has a nice, like, kind of ergonomic shape, and it just makes knitting I-cord much faster. So instead of knitting 3 stitches individually and then sliding them to the end of your needle and knitting them again, all of that stuff, it's literally just 3 latch hooks, so you're like wrap, click, wrap, click, wrap, click. It's so fast. And I taught myself how to do I-cord edging with it. This is the second time that I've used the Cordsmith for I-cord edging. I did it on the neckline and both armholes. It was a massive success. The first time I did it, I think I had too much tension on the yarn, so I was super mindful of that this time, and it's perfect. I-cord is still pretty stretchy. Like, I highly recommend the Cordsmith, guys, honestly. It also is another thing that brings joy. Okay, so that was finished object number 2, the Phoebe top. Probably my favorite knit of the summer, if we're being honest. Yeah. So moving on to the next one. Alrighty, next finished object. That was also a whip in my last update. Dun, 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 dun. They are finished! If you don't know what these are my Connections socks. They were vanilla socks that I was knitting, and all of the color work charts were from my daily Connections results. If you don't know what Connections is a daily word category game from the New York Times. You can play it on the New York Times website, like if you Google New York Times Connections, or you can play it on the New York Times Games app. Yeah, they're finally done. I was also documenting the process of making these, where every week I would show that week's progress, and posting them in Reels over on Instagram and then Shorts over on here. Did I post wait. A girl just realizes she might not have posted the last installment of Connection Socks on her YouTube channel. Oh, I didn't. Sorry, YouTube only friends. I will get on that. I will post that after this finishes filming, so after I finish filming this. So you'll probably see it before I post this knitting update. Go me. So yeah, anyway, Connection Socks are done. Ta-da. The yarn that I was using this, if you want to know like all the details about these, I have a separate video explaining this project because it really took off and got a lot of people's attention, so I made a separate video about them. Yarn, let me run through the yarns really quick. So the kind of like semi-solid neutral for cuffs, heels, and toes was Beatrice from Mezzo Makes. The yellow was an unnamed yellow that I got in a mini set from Montana Crochet. The green was Tom from Sewrella Yarn. The blue was Hades from Long Dog Yarn. And the purple was Maleficent, also from Long Dog Yarn. I ended up using the full mini of Beatrice, so actually on my second sock I had to finish up the very end with a bit of the green because I completely ran out, but that's okay. That's part of knitting. You gotta pivot sometimes. So I used up all 20 grams of Beatrice. I used 13 grams of the yellow. I used 12 grams of the green, 12 grams of the blue, and 11 grams of the purple. So yeah, there you go. If you were wondering how much of each color this took me, I typically knit a 64 stitch sock, and then I think I did a 5.5. Oh, I didn't write down how tall I made it. I just wrote the number of rounds. I think I did like a 5.5 inch leg before doing the heel. And then I'm like a size 8, a size US 8 shoe size. So that's how much yarn these socks for me took me. If you are interested in making your own, there's that information for you. Quite a few people have asked me if I'm releasing a pattern for these. I'm not, just because I don't know, like, I feel like it would be kind of a tricky, like, oh, what is it called? Like, copyright and, like, I don't want to get involved in that. I don't want to, like, get in trouble if I'm using, like, the New York Times's property to, like, promote my own thing, something like that. So I'm not gonna write a pattern for these. I'm gonna tell you I knit a 64 stitch vanilla sock. I used a shadow wrap heel. That is a heel technique that you can Google and find lots of tutorials about, especially here on YouTube. I used basic toe decreases. Yeah, and like, as long as you're using a stitch count that's divisible by 4, you can do this. So yeah, I'm not releasing a pattern because I don't want to potentially get in trouble for using somebody else's property, you know. That could just be me being paranoid, but I don't even want to, like, research into if that's even a thing. So there we go. There we have it. Connection socks are done, and we're going to move on to the next finished object. Okay, so next finished object wasn't even a whip. In the last knitting update video, it hadn't even reached that point yet. It was still a knitting plan. So here it is. Dun, da, da, da. So this is another version of the Snakes and Ladders tank by Andrea Beatrice. Again, I did not do the purl bumps that you'll see in the actual pattern photos, like on Ravelry and on Andrea's Instagram and stuff. Instead, I went with a kind of like a marled stripe look, kind of like a hazy stripe look between these 4 different colors. So the yarn that I used here was from Pasley Knits. It was the Silky Sock, excuse me, the Silky Sock blend. So I think it's a 50-50 superwash merino silk blend. And the colors, so the main color, the yellow, is Limoncello. The pink is Malibu Dreamhouse. The orange is Aperol-sprtiz, and the blue is Zakynthos. These were all colors that came in the 2023 quarterly Pasley Knits mystery boxes. So these were all the summer colors that came together in that box. And I really love how the stripes turned out. Pretty much what I did here was I did 6 rounds of the stripe. So holding the main color and the contrasting color together, and then I did 2 rounds of holding the main color double. And that's how I made this one. And if you watched my last knitting update, or if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I made this knit to wear in, let's see, 6 days now at this point, on August 10th, for when the Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals are playing a game at Progressive Field downtown in Cleveland. So super excited to see that. We managed to get tickets from the ticket lottery to that game. Super excited. If you watch that game, you probably won't see me because we're going to be all the way up in like the 500s, but we still got really great seats. We're going to be like right on the first baseline. I'm so excited. It's just going to be a big old party, a really fun show. They're so fun to watch on YouTube and the other places that they show their games. So I'm just super excited to see them in person and watch a game in person, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I have a special knit for it because I'm that type of person. I like to make special things for special events. So yeah, I don't think I mentioned earlier that the Snakes and Ladders tank, let's see, this was my 4th one that I made this summer. It is a very quick knit. It's knit up in either a DK or fingering held double yarn, and it's knit up on US 7s. So very quick knit, very nice, like kind of medium gauge. And honestly, this style of tank top I will probably keep knitting different versions of because this is one of the best fitting tank tops I've ever made myself. So it's really great. I'll probably keep making different versions of it for myself. But yeah, this is number 4, and this is probably the last one that I'll make this year, this summer at least. So yeah, that's finished object number 4. Those are all of my hand knit finished objects for this time period. So the other 2 finished objects that I have to show you is they're both sock machine finished objects. They are new things that I decided to try making on my sock machine in the past month or so, and they turned out really well, and I want to show you guys. So we'll get to those next. Okay, so the first sock machine finished object that I have for this month is, trying to decide the best way to show you. I'll just show you like this first. Ta-da! A girl has made mittens. These are the first pair of sock machine mittens that I attempted, and I love how they turned out because I have tried hand knit mittens before, and for some reason they never work out. They never really fit very well. Like, the gauge always feels a little too loose and they like let the wind through, it feels like. These, on the other hand, probably the best fitting mittens I've ever made, and I'm going to make so many more pairs, and I am so excited. The yarn that I used for these is Sewrella yarn, the acquisition of Memories, so that was from their Downton Abbey collection. That is on their classic sock base, so despite being called a sock base, it actually does not contain nylon. It's a 100% superwash merino sock base, so that yarn was actually wrapped up as part of my mystery sock, well now mystery yarn, because I stopped making socks, cranking series. So it worked out really well that that happened to be the yarn that I unwrapped for that installment of the series, because they were perfect for mittens. Even if it wouldn't have been the best yarn for socks, I definitely prefer a bit of a nylon in the sock blend of yarn that I actually use for socks. But yeah, mittens worked out really well. I got to learn a lot of new techniques when I made these. For example, the mock rib cuff. I learned how you take out and then reinsert needles on your machine for this. I also learned how you knit a thumb and then go on to hang the thumb to create this like picked up stitches bit that you kind of see here. So yeah, mittens were a fantastic success. Mittens on the sock machine. I will be making more. I might be making more for other people. We'll see what I have time and motivation for. But yeah, fantastic success. I will probably be making at least 1 pair for myself for football season in some type of blue and white yarn. There you go, mittens. So that was big sock machine project number 1. Big sock machine project number 2. I made a scarf. I realized the other day that in my learning how to use a sock machine and how to knit and create socks and other things on sock machines, I never did the very first like basic project on a sock machine, which is a scarf. Dean and Bean's pattern on their website includes these little cuffed ends for your scarf, so that was kind of nice. And yeah, as you can see, I used up the rest of Acquisition of Memories in this scarf, but then most of the color is actually Daisy Jones, which is also a Sewrella yarn colorway. again on the classic sock, so the 100% superwash merino sock base. And yeah, I just think these two look really nice together. They probably wouldn't have been one's colorways that I would have paired together just in my brain, but I needed more yarn than just one skein, the one skein of Daisy Jones that I had, and yeah, it worked out. I actually, at the very end, I ended up having to use a little bit of the blue that I've had on a yarn cone for a while for heels and toes for socks for my family. But yeah, I think it worked out really well. This will probably end up being a gift for somebody, but I am really proud with how this scarf turned out, and I, again, will probably make myself one in different colors. Yeah, there we go. So 4 hand knit finished objects and 2 brand new sock machine endeavor finished objects. So that's it for finished objects. So now I think we're gonna move on to I think we're actually gonna do announcements first. I think we're gonna do announcements before I move on to my current whips. So announcements next. Alrighty, so I have 2 quick announcements for you guys. The first one involves these lovely socks. These socks, my Beneath the Waves socks, are officially in testing! Yay! So what that means is I have written the pattern has been tech edited, I found people willing to test the pattern for me, and they are currently testing the pattern for me. So that also means we have a chosen release date for this pattern. This pattern is going to be coming out the first Friday of September, which is September 6th. Yeah, I'm so excited to put these out in the world. I was so blown away by the response to the testing call. For my previous 3 patterns, I've had to keep the testing call open for like a week or 2 until I got enough people interested in testing, and even then I've had to like fill in a spot in the testing pool and make another sample right along with the testers, and this time I had to close the tester application after 24 hours. Like, the response to these socks has just been insane. I can't wait to get these out there for you guys. So yeah, that's announcement number 1. These beautiful socks, this beautiful pattern is in testing. The testers are having a great time, giving me some great feedback on the pattern, and yeah, September 6th will be Beneath the Waves Day, Beneath the Waves release day, and yeah, these will be out in the world then. If you want some more specific updates and see some more of the specific promo for these socks, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm annabethkntwrthy with underscores between the words over there. I do tend to be a little bit more, I don't know what the word is. I post more over there. So I'm a little more active over there. There we go. So you'll get some more regular updates on these guys over there. But yeah, that was announcement number 1. Announcement number 2 is, as I have mentioned before, the Connection socks had a crazy response over on Instagram. And because of that, I was able to get more of a following, and because I was able to get more of a following, I have entered into partnership with a couple companies that I'm super excited about. So I have a couple new affiliate links now. So what that means is, well, first I should tell you who they're with. I'm so good at this. So I now have an affiliate link with Twice Sheer Cheap, and I have an affiliate link with Knit Picks. So what that means is, at no extra cost to you, if you make a purchase at either of those websites through my specific affiliate links, I get a small commission. At Twice Sheer Cheap, I forgot what I was going to say. So yeah, at both Twice Sheer Cheap and at Knit Picks, I now am a part of their affiliate programs, which is super amazing. If you don't know, Twice Sheer Cheap has really great notions and project bags. They're the ones that do the big like advent calendars. So if on Instagram you see people with the big red boxes with all the little white boxes inside, that's Toys Shoe Cheap. And then Knit Picks, you might be more familiar with. They have great yarn. Their Stroll sock base is a really well known and well recommended sock yarn, and then they also have some great tools like yarn winders. For example, my Knit Picks yarn winder is the only yarn winder I have ever had, and it's still holding up and doing its job. So they have some really great tools as well. I think they have some interchangeable needle sets, all of that stuff. Either way, you can check out both of them through my affiliate links. I'll have them linked in the description below. And they are also always available at the links in my bios on YouTube here and also over on Instagram. So yeah, that was announcement number 2. I now have a couple affiliate links. Please do not feel pressured to use them ever. It's just something really nice that if you do happen to use them, I get a little bit of a benefit, again, at no extra cost to you. I'm going to stop talking about them now. Let's move on to WIPs. Alrighty, on to WIPs, works in progress. I have 3 currently. So which one do I want to start with? Let's start with this one. So first one is super exciting because it is a test knit for my friend Leslie, who is Knit California here on YouTube and also over on Instagram and I believe TikTok. I don't know, I'm not on the TikTok, so you'll just have to take my word for it. I'm pretty sure she's over on TikTok as well. Same thing, Knit California. Anyway, she is releasing her first sweater pattern. It's super exciting. I was chosen to help test it, and so here we go. Here it is. Ta-da! So this sweater pattern is going to be called the California sweater. As you can see, I have already knit the front and the back and the whole body, and I am now onto one of the sleeves. I started this, let's see, so today is August 3rd. I started this July 21st. So I started this, I don't know, not that long ago. I can't do calendar math right now. And as you can see, I've done a lot of it in that not super a lot of time. Words. So it is a drop shoulder pattern, and I know Leslie's idea for this pattern was kind of inspired by a lot of large gauge raglan sweaters that are out there. So for example, like the Lento sweater, the Doppio sweater, I'm sure there's others that I don't know of. And basically, Leslie, living in California, she really likes those larger gauge sweaters because they can be a little bit breezier, especially for somebody who lives in a warmer climate like she does. And so she also really enjoys drop shoulder sweaters. So she had been looking for a drop shoulder, more open gauge sweater pattern like the Lento or the Doppio, but she just couldn't find it. So she's like, you know what, let me just fill this gap myself, and she wrote up a drop shoulder sweater pattern with a super open gauge. I believe the pattern itself is knit, or the recommended needles are US 10.5s. I, however, am a little bit of a looser knitter than Leslie is, so I ended up sizing down to US 10s, which works out because that's also what I used for my yellow Lento earlier this year. And yeah, so it is a fingering and a lace weight held double. It's recommended that the lace weight be either a mohair or a suri, something a little fuzzier to, you know, fill in the gaps because it is a large gauge sweater. So what I am using, the fingering weight that I am using is this lovely colorway. This is Edelwood from Teeny Button Studio from the Over the Garden Wall collection. It is on the soft sock base, which is the same base that I knit my Phoebe top in earlier. So 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend, 436 yards per 100 grams. I just really love this multi-dimensional brown. Look at it. It's so beautiful. Robin, if you ever bring this color back, I'm going to get a whole new sweater quantity in it for sure. Anyway, so that's My family is a big Olympics family, so I don't know if you can hear that or not, but there are some very exciting Olympic competitions going on right now. Anyway, this was the fingering that I'm holding with 3 different colors of lace weight. So let me try and get all 3 of them out of the bag. There we go. Ta-da! So these 3 are from Painted Fur and Fiber Company. This is the Silver Lace Mohair. I think this is technically Silver Lace Mohair version 1 because these 3 came in a mystery pack that I got during the Funky Franz mystery pack and one-of-a-kind sale. So they do have a different version of Silver Lace Mohair now, but if this was version 1 and they chose a better one for version 2, I can only imagine how good version 2 is. So these 3 colorways were the 3 colors from the spring collection Painted Fern did. So I know, let's see, I know this one is the opening act of spring. This one is Green Lap of the Newfound Spring, and this one has another really nice name that's a quote about spring, but I can't remember what it is. I'll of course put it up on the screen because it's a really nice name and I need to do it justice, but my brain doesn't want to. So yeah, I'm holding these 3 with the one fingering so that the only striping that's happening is between the mohair colors. And I think that's creating a really nice fuzzy stripe look. I think it gives really nice autumnal vibes. When the weather starts cooling off, this is going to be a great sweater to wear. It's even going to be a great sweater to wear around the house when it gets proper cold here in Northeast Ohio. So super excited for this sweater. I definitely think it's going to be one that I knit again when I'm in the mood for a nice large gauge sweater. And yeah, keep an eye out on Leslie's socials for when this pattern drops. I think I've been told when the pattern is dropping as a tester, but again, it's not in there. But I know the testing period is into September, so it's coming out in September, I think. Check Leslie's social medias for more information. You won't find it here right now. So yeah, that is whip number 1, test for Leslie. So excited about it. I'm so excited about my yarn choices, so excited about all the other testers' yarn choices. It's gonna be a grand old time. Yeah. Moving on to my second whip. Okay, so my second whip was a bit of a impulse cast on this past week. I casted it on, when did I cast this on? I casted it on Wednesday. Yeah, so I've been working on this for 4-ish days. I don't think I worked on it very much yesterday because I started the sleeve on my California sweater. But yeah, this is how far I've gotten. Oh yeah, I didn't work on it at all yesterday because I finished the first skein of yarn. Anyway, ta-da! This yarn may look familiar. That's because it's the same yarn that this Ranunculus is knit in. It is the Queensland Cotton Fine. This time I'm holding it single, though. Yeah. So, again, same yarn that this Ranunculus is knit in. This, like I said, was a bit of an impulse cast on, because I had, after knitting this Ranunculus, I had like about 1.5 skeins of this yarn left. So I decided, you know what, that's probably enough to make a tank top with for me. So I casted on the number of stitches for a summer secret crop, because I have made that pattern before. However, that is the only thing I have followed the pattern for. So it's kind of like, what is it, that Theseus's ship paradox or whatever, like that one paradox where like if you keep repairing a ship and it gets to the point where you've replaced every single piece of the original ship, is it still the original ship or is it now a completely new ship? And then if you were to like take all the places that you, all the pieces that you whatever, I don't know if I can properly call this the summer secret crop. That is my point, because I literally just used the stitch count. And, like, the summer secret crop starts with some ribbing. I did a folded hem. The Summer Secret crop, like, it's a free pattern, so I feel okay talking about it. If you made it, you know that it, like, once you split for the body, you do, like, a little bit of ribbing in the back to help, like, keep that negative ease a little bit. I'm not planning on doing that. I'm basically kind of gonna be mashing together the Summer Secret crop and the outline tank, I guess, because that's kind of what I want more. I want a bit more of, like, that V-neck look in both the front and the back. I think I'll have the yarn to be able to accomplish that goal. But yeah, that's a decision for another day because I still only have this much of the body knit and I want it to be more of a full tank top rather than a crop. So yeah, for now I'll keep calling it the Summer Secret crop, but I'm going to be making so many changes that it's not even going to be the same shape as the Summer Secret crop, so I don't know what I'm going to call it. I would love to know your thoughts on this predicament. If you want to leave them in the comments, let me know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still very happy with my sock patterns, so even if I do end up making so many changes that I feel like I can't even call this the Summer Secret crop anymore, I'm probably not gonna, like, release a pattern, make a pattern and release a pattern on it. I don't want to run the risk of like accidentally using somebody else's intellectual property. That's the term I was looking for earlier when I was talking about the connection socks. Intellectual property. It's such a gray area that I want to stay as far away from it as possible. I don't want to, like, run the risk of using somebody else's intellectual property. So yeah, I'm making a tank top out of cotton yarn. That's whip number 2. It's kind of the Summer Secret crop. It's mostly not, but I don't know what to call it. Anyway, that's whip number 2. Let's just move on to number 3. Okay, I was going kind of back and forth on whether to show you guys this whip yet or not, because it is a new design that I'm working on. But yeah, I just said screw it, I'll just show it to you. The Beneath the Waves sock pattern is already in testing, so why not show you my next one, right? Here it is. I don't know how well in this lighting you can really see. I'm just gonna give you a second, like I'm Dora, and let you try and guess what this is. I feel like most of you will get it. But again, I don't know if, like, with the lighting, if it's good enough or not. Okay, that's been enough time. These I am calling my Above the Clouds socks, trying to keep a similar pattern title theme with my Beneath the Waves, and they are a sock pattern inspired by Mothman. Yeah, so this is gonna be sock pattern number 2 in this kind of, like, cryptid series, I guess, that I'm starting. So obviously Beneath the Waves is inspired by, let me grab it. So obviously Beneath the Waves is inspired by all of our favorite prehistoric water monsters, whether that be Nessie of Loch Ness, whether that be Bessie of Lake Erie, whether that be Champ of Lake Champlain. That's what Beneath the Waves is all about. Above the Clouds, this is Mothman, 100%. I think you can see pretty well, like, there he is, and then there's a bridge below him. That's kind of the look I was going for. I am still working on sock number 2. I'm currently almost done with the heel of sock number 2. But once I get these finished up, I feel pretty confident in my ability and in my motivation to write up a pattern and get it over to my tech editor pretty quickly. I've already told her that I'm going to have a couple more patterns coming down the pipe. So yeah, these are going to be the next one. I'm really hoping if I can get this second sock finished and if I can get the pattern written, I am hoping maybe to do a testing call pretty soon after and then do a testing period, and then maybe get these released in October to November, maybe. So keep an eye out. Definitely follow me over on Instagram if you're interested in testing these in the near future, because that is where I will post this testing call, and based on the response to Beneath the Waves, I'm kind of hoping that these will get a similar response. I am also super excited about these ones, because Mothman is my favorite cryptid, so yeah. These are his socks, and I love them a lot, and I hope you love them as well. So yeah, if all things go well, hopefully I would get to release this pattern in and around October to November, but we'll just see where life takes us. I feel like if you like cryptids and Mothman as much as I do, you won't mind if the pattern ends up getting released in December, but fall is my goal. Fall is my goal for sure. So keep an eye out for more updates on these, because yeah, I love them so much. Okay, that is whip number 3. Hoping to get this second sock done soon, because yeah, you guys over here on YouTube will probably see these socks before Instagram does. What has the world come to? Anyway, yep, so those are all of my current whips. So now let's just, I feel like I've talked forever, so let's just do a real quick upcoming knitting plans bits, and then yeah, that'll be it for this video. So knitting plans is next. Okay, upcoming knitting plans. First and foremost, if you watched my halfway through the year goal check-in video, you know that I have rethought and revamped and redone a bit of my Make 9. So first upcoming knitting plan is to cast on one of the remaining sweaters from my Make 9. I feel like there's a chance the California sweater is going to end up taking one of their places. I just don't know which one yet. But I also love all of the remaining sweaters that are on my Make 9 right now, so I don't know if that'll actually happen, or if I'll just, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what my brain decides by the end of the third quarter of this year. So yeah, I want to cast on one of those sweaters. I feel like right now either the Seren sweater by Emma Janet, or the either the Seren sweater or the winter cardigan. I feel like they're calling to me the most right now, but also the Matthew pullover's kind of calling to me because it has like a little bit of cables at the top before it's just like straight stockinette. So we'll see what I decide on. I'm definitely going to try and finish the California sweater first. So after I finish the California sweater, I am hoping to, after I finish the California sweater, I will cast on my next sweater, and it will be a sweater from my Make 9. There we go. That's plan number 1. Plan number 2 is actually something else from my Make 9, from my updated Make 9. I am hoping to cast on the Cheeky Checky Beanie by Ocean Knits, and this is the yarn that I'll be casting it on in. I already pulled it out of my stash. It's ready to go for when I finish, probably for when I finish the tank top. These are both from Painted Fern Fiber Company. This is called Rain, this is called Midnight Pond, and as I've mentioned before, the Cheeky Checky Beanie is going to be my game day hat for the upcoming college football season, for my brother's last college football season. It's going to be a super special hat. It's going to be in the school colors. I'm super excited to make it. It looks like it'll be a really fun knit, and I think it'll be a pretty quick knit as well, so it'll get something else marked off my Make 9 as well. So that's knitting plan number 2, and final knitting plan that I have right now, it's another special event knit. Let me find the right page. So if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I am a fan of the channel Watcher. So Ryan and Shane, who were previously on BuzzFeed Unsolved, it's their channel, along with Stephen Lim, and They are doing a tour this fall for their show Ghost Files, and I got tickets to the Cleveland show, and I'm super excited about that. So because it's another special event, I want to do another special event knit. I'm thinking a pair of socks, and the socks that I am thinking of, I'm going to use these two yarns. So this one is from Sour Stitching. It is called Markle. So it's a really nice... I know when I posted this on my Instagram stories, like, to get people's opinions, I call this kind of like a ghost hunter green. It kind of reminds me of, like, glow-in-the-dark, like, part night vision cameras, but also part just, like, spooky glow-in-the-dark, whatever, ghosty things. And then I'm also using this dark purple. Dark purple is from a mini set in my stash. I don't remember which one right now. But I think these two will be really fun together. And what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to make some socks, some colorwork socks. The colorwork that I'm going to use is from this book. So this is Knitivation by Andrea Rangel. It is a stitch dictionary, so it has 150 plus modern colorwork knitting motifs. And I am going to use, on page 100, ghosts. Duh. So I'm going to make some ghost socks. I'll have to make some adjustments to the chart, I think, because I'm just going to basically do, like what I typically do with my socks, like the cuff and then, like, a band of color work, and then the rest will be in the main color. So I'm not going to do ghosts throughout the entire sock. I'm just going to do, like, a band of ghosts on the leg, I guess. So I got to make a couple adjustments to this chart. But yeah, super excited about these. I believe I have to do a bit more research. I believe Andrea Rangel is okay with designers using and adapting her motifs. But I want to do more research on that to confirm if that is the case. This might be another upcoming pattern. But yeah, I just want to, right off the bat, give credit to Andrea Rangel here, and then I will do more research to see if I can write up this pattern and, you know, add it to my pattern library. But yeah, I gotta look into that a little bit more. I'll fully admit that is more research that needs to be done, before I can for sure, like, write this up as a pattern. Again, it's all going back to the intellectual property thing that I always want to be really safe about, especially in using other people's really hard work. So I got to do more research on that, and then I'll get back to you guys on that. But yeah, super excited to make these socks for the Ghost Files Live tour. So that's plan number 3. I'm just going to go ahead and stop it there. So yeah, I feel like I've been talking forever, so I'm just going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. If you want some more regular updates on all things that I am knitting and making, you can follow me over on Instagram, where I am annabethkntwrthy, between the words. You can check out my patterns on Ravelry. You can check out the Twice Sheared Sheep and Knit Picks affiliate links that I have now. Super exciting. And yeah, Beneath the Wave socks coming at you September 6th. And other than that, I hope the start of August is going well for you. And as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!